Saludos, everybody. Welcome back to Decent Shirt, where we play cards while we wear decent shirts. And today, I am not alone. For the first time ever, I'm going to be presenting to you guys a new deck profile, not made by me, but by a friend here that also top cut the Last Moonrise Tournament. And that's why I want to give a huge thanks to Pope that he got, I believe it was 16th place, right?
16.
Yeah, 16. All right, awesome. Thank you, Pope, for being here. We want to hear all about your list, but first, I want to give the floor to you. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Pope. I've been playing Elestrals since it came out. I've been busy with school, so I haven't been able to participate in tournaments, but this is my second top cut. The first one was in the digital event, like the first ever tournament. I went undefeated on Swiss. I was playing Win Nexus Toolbox, and then after that, I haven't been able to play competitive, but now I'm back.
Welcome back, and what a way to come back to the game by making another top cut and also qualifying, right? Getting your first qualifying points for the World Championships.
Yeah.
Are you planning to gun for the World Championships this year?
I hope so. It's school lets me, and I managed to get the points. I would like to get it.
All right, you're only 200 points away, which sounds like a lot, but trust me, compared to how it started, we're on a good run, right? We're on good way towards those 250 points. All right.
Absolutely.
So let's just a quick thing, right? Pope is from the area of Puerto Rico, just like me. There's not many Puerto Rican players that play the game. We're trying to build the community, but it just goes to show that we have really solid talent in this community. Both Pope, Diales, that also topped one of the tournaments with a full solar list. Also part of the community here in Puerto Rico, as well as me and others that you might even know. Regardless, we're trying to do the best that we can to qualify for points. So if you are Puerto Rican, if you're interested in the game, please make sure to reach out so we can talk about LGSs and just show out in the tournaments. Anyway, let's just leave that for later because right now we're going to get into our deck profile. So, starting off, I want to ask Pope, what did you bring for the tournament, for the Last Moonrise Tournament?
I brought my little rabbit here with basically what I think it was like a Thunder Good Stuff deck.
Okay.
Like when I'll show you the cards, you'll understand. But it's basically I thought that for the meta, the best that I can bring was Thunder with back rows and just be able to keep the opponent's field clear, and me always having advantage. That was the most the biggest or the most optimal game plan I found to play with the deck right now with the current meta.
Currently, the meta is so wide open that even decks that used to be like contenders and metas all the time, like Thunder, started like lowering in usage. So it opened the doors for decks like yours, I believe, to really have a good showing. So I'm really interested in hearing about your list. Let's just get into that. I want to ask you why. You already talked about it a little bit. Why did you bring Thunder to this tournament?
For like I said, like I was studying the meta, and I didn't have the cards to build like a lunar deck.
Okay.
And I also built a solar deck, but the solar deck was underperforming. I also made a Fire Nexus deck that was also underperforming, and when I played with this deck, it just overperformed, and I just felt more comfortable with like the other cards I have. So I said, like, honestly, let's just play with what we have, and I feel comfortable with this. I know like the ins and outs. I know how to counterplay, and I know like what to do and what my weak condition is. So that's basically why I chose it. It's just good stuff.
All right, awesome. I mean, at the end of the day, I believe that the best advice you can take to any tournament is to go with a deck that you're comfortable with. It doesn't matter if it's not the top level deck, because if you can't push your deck to the limit, then you're not gonna perform well. That's just how it goes, or at least that's been my experience. So definitely Really awesome that you just went with your guns and just said, I'm just gonna go with a comfortable deck. It might not be the best deck, but I'm sure that it can make a splash, and that's exactly what it did. So great job. Let's go into the deck profile and just see the card list. So let's see.
All right, let's start with the classic. Just three bunnies, one Elichick. It's banned now, so rip.
Rep.
But one Elichick, three Toxion, two Jolton, three Quackles, one Arclith, and one Sonic Core for the Thunder Elestrals. They're basically self-explanatory. Rabbit in the Thunder deck is broken. Searcher. This is a semi-beater, and also instantly when they feel it it touches the ground, your opponent is just take -1.
Mm-hmm.
So he alone is a -2 if you can manage to crash the opponent's Celestial. A Searcher for the Mount Olympus, and it's also instantly a 5 with the field activated. And Quackle is just recursion. I know what I'm playing 6 Ambrosius in the deck, so I have a good grind deck, a good grinding between the matches. Arclith, well, it's Arclith. There's not much to say about him. And Sonic Core, he was a Hail Mary, because I had a space available, and I said I kind of want another big Alestron,
Mm-hmm.
and not just Arcalith, because I've been seeing that there's a lot of big guys being played, and this deck has removal, but I wanted to have an Alestro, and I chose him because he also just basically says no to counter runes, which is super OP. But I didn't see him much during the tournament. When I played him, I won, but I saw he's easily removable nowadays. Just an Eddy turns into defense, he's out. Cryoblast, there's a lot of removal. But it got me the games, it got me the wins when I wanted it, and it helped. This might be the first card to be changed.
Okay.
But he did well during the tournament.
All right. So, I mean, I think one of the key cards that I really like about your list is the triple Toxion. I myself lost to Toxion during the tournament because he just burned me for game. Just being able to burn me multiple times in a single turn with Altar of Stars and other enchantments.
Yeah. I noticed that in this tournament, burn was very prominent. There was a lot of burn.
Yep.
And Toxion, I had an overtime game where I just normal casted Toxion, passed. He played, he passed. I normal casted another Toxion, passed. I re-enchanted the Toxion, passed. And I won because he was playing Eruption, but I managed to burn and Brosha for game.
Wow.
In the last minute, I won literally because of one spirit differential, because he had a Quackle on field and I had the Toxion, so I just swing for game.
Speaking of burn, you also played triple Quackle, so like you said, you were playing basically 6 Ambrosius. Do you feel like it was because I think that the standard thing is to just play 2 Quackles unless you're playing a heal control deck. But in your case, you just said, no, this is one of the better Elestrals. I'm going to play 3 elves. What led you to that line of thinking?
Triple Quackle, I mean, it's basically, I'm still alive and I have another body on field. I can go crazy with counter runes, I can go crazy with Ascensions, I can go crazy with whatever, because I know that I have 6 Ambrose in the deck. So I'm just playing to look at them. I have Rabbit, I easily re-enchant and with Nexuses.
Okay.
So it's I know that I can go crazy with my plays because I'm gonna have something that is gonna heal me back soon enough.
That's fair.
And don't get me wrong, Quackle got Gorgon's Gage a lot.
All right, so it was a bait.
Yeah, it was he got bait negated a lot, so it helped me do other plays. Okay. But when I most needed it, it was game 3. He Gorgons both of my Quackles, and I was well, this might be it. But I managed to clutch it up, just with beaters.
Okay.
Speaking of which, that's why I play the 3 Eddies and the 3 Galaxies. And this one was a mix-up, because I was gonna play a Viscerous Engine, but then I just sat down and thought and was I feel that this one's better overall, because water was one of my fears because I was like, oh, if he puts the big 2 cost octopus Celestial,
Cracking.
I'm gonna have a problem. Yeah, Kraken, I'm gonna have trouble beating him out. This is like the easiest way to beat him out. If someone has a lot of eddies, I'll just push him and it's a perfect counter. Also, he's a perfect counter to himself. So I started playing him because he was a big beater, and water. I didn't have a lot of ways to deal with water, so I just added it, and he overperformed because you can't tsunami him.
True. I mean, I think that a lot of people started playing like a big counts of tsunami in this tournament, and it was because of that. Like people got overzealous with water, and they just were prepared for the eddy. But I don't think that people really respected the galaxy. And in a similar line of thought, I went with my fire water deck, which I call the steam deck. I went with the idea that yeah, Galaxy's gonna be really strong because of the reasons that you mentioned, but also because it kind of evades the poison tipped arrow in a way. Like if you want to play the poison tipped arrow, it's not gonna affect that turn to attack and get over a body, and that was really solid all throughout the tournament. So yeah,
From my matches, I was the only one who played Galaxy. Nobody else played Galaxy. I saw someone playing like 5, but it was like a Fire Nexus 5. It was too expensive, so I just like shield and that was it.
And then burn him for Toxions.
Yeah. Going on with the cards, 2 Sus, because of course, 2 Mount Olympus and a Race to the Top.
Okay.
This card is like self-explanatory, it's crazy. Didn't resolve it that much, of course. It's at 1, I barely saw it. But I feel that now we're entering a meta where field spells are gonna be a lot more played. Just because they are Nexus banks, they are buffs for your Elestrals, and they're like the case an energy, like you need a spirit for later, you have it there. And like you're also countering if your opponents have to field spell, you can just counter it with your own as it's free. So yeah, I might be playing more field spell going on.
So
now, yep.
One of the things that we saw towards the end of Daybreak's almost starting Moonrise was the idea that Thunder like basically went away from the Jolton / Mount Olympus / Race to the Top engine and said that it was not worth it when it was just at 1. Why did you go for the Race to the Top? Like it was just because you just needed more Thunder Elestrals and just might as well play with Mount Olympus, or just that you think that it's definitely worth it no matter what in a Thunder list?
I feel that it's free, and it's free removal with Elestrals who have a smaller defense, and big beaters usually have small defense. And I have Rabbit and Quackle, which both are pretty high, and if I add the Mount Olympus, it's higher. So it's free in my opinion. Might I change it up next deck list? Maybe, depending on like if I need more spaces for Elestrals. Okay. But if I can manage to add it, I'll add it because again, it's free.
Okay, that's super fair.
Now with the runes, 1 Earthquake, 3 Ambro. Those are my basically invoke rooms, self-explanatory.
Yep.
And now for my counters, 2 Altar, 3 PTA, 3 Shields, and 3 Gorgons. That's basically the standard. There's not much to say. Like I said, since I have a lot of like Spirit Recursion, I can go crazy with my counter rooms. If I were to switch one, it would probably be Altar because it's basically a 3-card combo. Okay. And sure, it might be good. Like if I have a Astro Rabbit, I did it once during the tournament. Like Astro Rabbit, I Alter, switch to defense, then chain Astro Rabbit, and then draw for turn. So that was a +2 and the Elestron in defense.
Okay.
But I'd rather have something else, I think.
Would you say like a Tsunami or Argo?
Tsunami, it's considering the next meta. I would love Tsunami. Argo is too expensive in my opinion. Might I run it? Maybe. I'm still thinking of how I'm gonna build the next deck. but I see Tsunami more useful and like easily more on my deck than Argo at the moment.
Okay, that's completely fair. I do now that I like recall, you do only play two Sus. Did you miss the third Sus considering that you only have one Elishik and this deck doesn't have like the highest stats? It really just depends on you protecting your board and being able to amass tempo and like a lot of advantage while punishing your opponents so that way you can swing for games later into the game. Like, did
Uh,
you miss
I
that third?
I didn't really miss it. I didn't really miss it because I am running three Sus and I am running four Mount Olympus. And
Okay.
if I didn't have Sus, I have Mount Olympus. And if not, I had like counter runes to just either like um negate their attacks and be like, okay, my turn. I'll just re-enchant this bigger and I swing.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I did not miss it. And in next deck, I might run three, but just because of Fulgaris.
Okay, that's fair.
Because, but that's a later subject.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that later.
Spirit deck. Honestly, I'm not gonna show it because it's like more to everyone's preference. I just like two earthquakes. I think it was like five water spirits, and the rest was thunder.
Okay.
But the side deck is where like things get a little bit weird. It's, my opinion, an incomplete side deck, but again, I play with the cards I had.
Okay.
One altar, two hurricanes, one spoiled fruit. I would have played three. But honestly, I never played against a heal deck. Like I said, there was more burn decks rather than heal decks. So that is where the spice comes in. Never used it, but I wish I could have because like I had two games where burn was very prevalent and the game was about to finish. So I played three magnetic force fields because it's perfect counter for burn. It's like, nah, you take two, and they're gonna be expending four for their eruption. So I love this card.
Okay.
Wish to be able to play it. Three tsunamis, three cryoblast for removal, and one spirit for the hurricane and one for the cryoblast.
What? Pretty solid, I gotta say, all things considered. Um,
Yeah, I never used this and this. Um, I think I never used this, and tsunami I only used once.
okay. Did
Because
you
I feel like the
did,
deck. Yeah,
did you check in the triple tsunami in that game, or like just two? Like,
I'm pretty sure I did because this was the Fire Nexus 5 stacks I was telling you about.
okay,
He was playing it well. He was like playing well like around the tsunamis, but if I felt that like he misstepped and it was like he wasn't paying attention, I'll just tsunami and had a free turn.
okay,
I decided it. I think I didn't use them, um, because I never saw them, but I could have honestly because he had a little misstep with the spirit enchantment.
okay. And I would ask you, like, overall, what was the toughest matchup that you faced throughout the tournament then? Because you said that there were times that you faced against a burned or a fire deck, and there were other times where some of the cards that you cited in you didn't see them. So, what was your toughest matchup?
Um, the matchups where I lost was against a lift deck
Okay.
that, in my opinion, he won because he just draw better. I don't
Okay.
want to sound, salty on anything, but brother drew everything.
Well,
And-
when one has it, he has it. Like,
Yeah, and lists on their own, they're like strong. That's why most of them like he casted Lava Lift and Arcalith in one turn. So
one
in and
turn.
out of so yeah, in one turn he first like casted Lava Lift, and you know what, I passed. And then in my turn, I don't know, I think I set a card, and then he was like, okay, then I'll just Arcalith, and I'm like, you know what, hey, this game, I can't do anything about that.
okay.
And
That's a
that
super
was,
random deck to face.
no, yeah, honestly, I wasn't happy to lose to that, but it is what it is. And the other deck, I can't remember what it was. I felt that it was very aggro. He had like offense and defense,
Okay.
and it was just like, yeah, it was a loss. It was not much to do about it. I can't remember much about it. Um, but I feel that like my biggest problem was RNG. I
Okay.
felt that I had this deck could proper properly play against every deck. If I were to say like the biggest problem would have been, the ice deck that mills a lot.
Do you have Listrix deck?
Listers, I feel that I would have had problems with that deck. Um, and with the lunar the wolf deck.
Yeah, the Leica Void deck. The Lunar
Yeah,
Aggro
the
deck?
lunar Lyca. Yeah, because they have a lot more offense than I do. So if I match the offensive power with the counter runes, the player who has the best counter runes probably win. But since they have the option to make an opponent like an Alestro basically immune to counter runes,
Yeah.
that's gonna be tough to like overcome. So those would have been like the toughest deck for me.
Alright, that's
But yeah,
fair.
the Arcalit, yeah, the lift turbo deck, I'll say.
The Lit Turbo was the one that put a halt to the deck. Oh my goodness. You heard it here first, guys. So overall, you talked about the deck. You talked about at certain points things that you would probably change, and I would ask you now that Firestorm is out, the Doom Atlas is out. Things are going to change whether we want them or not. New decks are gonna rise. I want to ask you, is there anything that you would change now that we're in Firestorm? Are there any cards that you would add to make the deck better, or just to counter the meta that you're expecting?
Absolutely. This deck, if as it is, if you like bring it to next format, you're gonna lose
Okay.
like 07. 07 instant. Because Firestorm speeds things up way too quickly.
Okay.
And this deck is like a turn by turn deck. So I would change a couple of cards. I'm still looking at the set to see what to add in and what to remove. Yes, I do have a Thunder deck in mind. I feel that it's spicy. I'm not gonna give out the spice yet. The other deck I would want to bring is Fire. Fire Nexus, like with artifacts.
Yeah.
And Lunar, in a way, I have a kind of a Lunar deck in mind that seems interesting. But I would like to mix it with Solar, because I like Solar. If I can mix like a Solar Lunar deck, I'll try to play that as well.
I mean, trying to make Half Moon even more OP. All right.
Actually, I would not play Kafma.
You wouldn't play Kathma in a Solar Lunar deck. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I will not play Kafma because it's fun and it's very annoying. But I'd rather have like other tools to like win the game.
That's fair. So, overall, would you say that you would be adding like the Champions of Zeus to this deck? Like, I think I heard you say that you would add the Vulgaris. Like, are you going full ham on it, or?
Since I'm still reading the cards in the new set, but most of the Champions of Zeus, I'm not interested in the like Elite for Tempest Ascension deck. It might seem nice, but I don't think that's the route I want to take.
Okay.
I feel that Vulgaris is basically Equilinx without the Nexus, which it's limited for a reason. And like I said, I haven't read any other Thunder decks, but I would like to play a little bit of the Spice, the Spark It. The Spark It that comes out of the Tartarus.
Finally,
either way,
it's back.
Yeah, like either way, if it's not like hand rip every turn, you can get just a hand rip, random hand rip, and this deck could benefit from Nexus. Like I said, you can Nexus to Rabbit, you can Nexus to Toxian, make the opponent burn. You can Nexus to make with a field spell, make your Celestial bigger. So I think Nexus in and of itself is gonna be nice, not needed, but nice. And the hand rip is always good.
All right, pretty solid. All things considered, I think that your deck is very interesting. I think the only player that I really associate with just pure Thunder was Stellar Krista. He's the other one that always likes to bring like full Thunder. I want to give you a spice. I think Galvenom is severely disrespected, and I think Galvenom, a well-timed Galvenom, can basically win the most games, especially once somebody. Yeah, Galvenom.
Who's he?
He's the ascension of Toxion. When you basically you expend 3. Yes, it's expensive, but expend 3, destroy 2 cards on the field.
That's why I didn't play it, because expend 3 and pop 2. In my opinion, it's not worth it. But hey, to each their own spice.
I mean,
Like I said, if I would have played against like the Ice Mill deck, that card would have been nice because again, it's pop.
exactly.
The problem is they're gonna be so like ahead of me that for me to do an ascension is gonna be very problematic.
All right. Well, after the video, so I'm gonna tell you some spice, guys. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to wait for that one, but I'm gonna tell you some spice after that I think you're gonna like for the deck. But having said that, we're gonna head off to our final thoughts. Overall, your experience with the tournament, was it good? Was it bad? How do you feel after finishing the Moonrise meta? The format is done. We're gonna head into Firestorm, and we're gonna say goodbye to what I think many people are gonna consider the golden age of Elestrals at this current moment.
Like honestly, I did not have as much fun as I wanted to. I got very irritated early on. Like I lost my first match, I won my second, I lost my third match, and I was like, man, honestly, I'm done. It's not worth it. And so I told to myself, if I lose one more, I'll drop. I never lost after that, sure. I found myself, even if I won, I felt irritated because the games were very. It felt very cringe. I wasn't. I didn't feel like I was playing fun Elestrals.
Okay.
Maybe there were my matchups. I'm not sure. And it felt like I said sometimes RNG was way too crazy. So like I understand deck building, I understand the lock factor, but to be very one-sided, I don't know. It wasn't like very fun for me. But other than that, hopefully next meta is gonna be a lot of like diversification. I feel that a lot of decks are gonna come in.
Yeah.
This tournament is gonna be great because there's gonna be a lot of jank that people are gonna play.
The first tournament, your first tournament, you can count on 3 things. First thing, you're gonna see a lot of people try out decks that are not good at all.
Not good. They're jank.
Yeah, jank, pure jank. Second thing you can count on, people are gonna play 5s. And third thing you can count on, I think people are gonna play like a void. Those are the 3 things you can count on. And we're just gonna have to fill in the bingo card from there on.
Yeah, like a void is a threat, but we'll work it out.
I'm sure we will. Well, heading on to our like closing off the video. Are there any people you want to shout out in due to that helped you with the deck list, or that you just want to shout out because why not? It's your time to shine.
I mean, shout out to you for having me here. I didn't have much help with the deck because I was I didn't know that a lot of people in Puerto Rico were playing. But now that I know, and then now that I'm in the Discord, things might get spicy. I can just like ask to test and ask for opinions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to playtesting in the Discord.
Glad to have you, man. Honestly, I don't know. I think that our mutual friend like made a big blunder and didn't tell you. Like we've had the Discord for a while now. And
it is what it is.
If you're a Puerto Rican, make sure that you join our the Elestrals Puerto Rico Discord. If you want to join, please reach out. I'll make sure that you join. Great stuff. We're very active, especially right now after these tops between you and me. People are motivated. We want to show up. We want to show up to these tournaments and show that we got a lot of talent here. So, having said that, that has been a great interview. Thank you for sharing the deck list and overall sharing your thoughts about the tournament, about the metagame. I think that there's a lot to learn, especially because as a person, you come in with a very unbiased take on the idea that you played well during the first iteration of Elestrals with the base set, and you've been kind of MIA for the longest time. So now that you came back, it still shows first that you still got what it takes, because clearly it didn't make a huge difference. Like, you only needed to win one more game and you would have probably been in top 8. So let's think about that. Second,
Bad.
second thing, that Thunder is still really solid, right? I think that a lot of people discounted Thunder, didn't really respect it. They kind of like think, okay, it's just better to have the Thunder core instead of the whole deck. But you clearly showed that it still has a lot of merit, and for that, you deserve huge props. So, Pope, thank you a lot for being here. Thank you for taking some part of your time to record this video with me. And guys, you out there, whether you're Puerto Rican or not, do please, we're trying to get to 100 subscribers. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do that. We can only get there with your help, and we're very, very close. So if you want to see great content like this, more interviews, more deck profiles, more great matches, please subscribe. And don't forget to click on the bell over there just to be notified when I post a new video. All right, so having said that, that will be all from us. Decent Shirt signing out.